there's so much to know. Earning bits, travel dreams we sow, all aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. 0 to hero in the blink of an eye. Fly first class, no need to be shy. Redemption sweet, touching the sky. Award seats booked, let's give it a try. Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo.
Hello everyone, very good evening. It's a lovely Friday, isn't it? And we're very, very happy to welcome you to this special impromptu live stream of the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. I am Aadil, and joining me today are my fellow Points and Miles enthusiasts, Dhimant and Ameya. We couldn't wait to jump on and discuss the buzz around the newly launched Equitas Small Finance Bank PowerMiles credit card. Now, there has been chatter around this for some days, and we thought that now we feel there is a decent amount of information to guesstimate what's really happening with this card, and we thought it'll be cool to kind of do an episode or a live stream on this. The intent today for this session is to dive into a few things. One, how this card stands out in the market, which is the PowerMiles card, how it stacks up against existing travel cards, who should consider adding this to their wallet, who should potentially stay away, and of course, if you have any questions, we're more than happy to take it. Now, we're broadcasting you live today across our YouTube, across Dhimant's Twitter, across my Twitter, across Ameya's Twitter, and the Great Indian Points and Miles Show Twitter as well. And then you can also see us live on Instagram. As per my count, I'm seeing that 111 people of you are already tuned in. Thank you so much. I see close to 30 people on the Twitter channel of Great Indian Mile. We see 20 odd people on Dhimant and my Twitter as well. And then we see about 40 people who've come in on YouTube. Let's welcome a few of you. So I see Praveen has logged in, and Praveen says that he's enjoying our content. Keep it going. Thanks, Praveen. Thanks for joining us. It's really, really good to see. There is Madhusudan, who's curious, how did we make the promo video? Madhusudan, this is Points and Miles, and it's a little bit of Gen AI magic. Like we say, it's the flavor of the season. Naman, thanks for joining in. You're excited. We're excited too, so it's good to see you. Akul, very happy to have you, man. Let me tell you, Akul is a regular of the Great Indian Points and Miles Show, and every time we drop his episodes, he's one of the first to comment. Akul, thank you so much. If we had a loyalty program, you would be gold time. So thanks for tuning in. Look at this, Vishal. Vishal is a very good podcaster who runs a podcast on all things AV Geeks. So Vishal, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, good to see you. Shrikant, nice to see you as well. We see Abhi who's coming. So guys, there are lots of you who are tuning in. I see lots of comments. So please, if you're joining in on YouTube, comment where you're tuning in from. Comment what's your favorite credit card. And if you have a question for us, put that question as a comment. And then I'll flash it on screen and we'll pose it to Dhimant and Ameya. And then parallelly, at the same time, if you're tuning us to us on YouTube and Instagram, again, reply to the tweet that you're tuning into, and we'll flash that question here on screen and we'll get it answered from Ameya and Dhimant. So with that, Dhimant, Ameya, स्वागत है. कैसी लग रही है आपकी फ्राइडे की शाम?
बहुत बढ़िया. Good evening, folks. Yeah, thank you so much for joining in, man.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I've had a Friday week, but I'm glad we're on Friday. Looking forward to the IPL match tomorrow now.
Yeah, Ameya has had a very, very interesting week. You can ask him offline what this is all about. We don't want to talk about it here, but it's been fun. Thanks for making time, Ameya. So, chalo, shuru karte hain. Thanks everyone for joining in. The intent today is to talk about, like I said, the Equitas Small Finance Bank PowerMiles credit card. So initially, for the first few minutes, we'll quickly talk about this. If you all have questions, please chime in. We'll answer those questions. Khatam hone ke baad, once we've finished talking about the Equitas Small Finance PowerMiles credit card, we are open to answer any questions of yours today. So whatever questions you have, please drop it as comments in YouTube or as replies on Twitter. We'll feature it and we'll get started with all 200 of you who are right now tuning in to us. So thank you so much for tuning in live. So shuru karte hain. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's explore what the PowerMiles card, which is from Equitas Small Finance Bank that's recently launched, brings to you. Dhimant, we'll start with you. Give us an overview. Give us what the key features of this card are so that we get a sense of why we're talking about this card, why this is important, and for who this is.
Yeah, first of all, cheers to everybody. Friday evening, great time to be, connecting with you folks. Aadil, let me start off by saying what I'm most excited about, right? And why I'm most excited about is there are smaller banks which are now excited about the whole Miles program, right? If you look at what they have done, they have started branding, Miles Exchange as a program. This is something exciting. Now, where we go towards, what are the ratios, all of them will eventually become everybody will know it. But I think most excited about is the fact that smaller players are entering. What it also tells me is somebody like an IDFC, for example, who stayed away from the Miles game, can no longer ignore it. For me, I think that is the most exciting part. I am hoping that at least 3-4 more banks will jump onto the bandwagon. And coming back to the card specific, right? The way I see it is a very, very high level thing. It's positioned very, very similar to how let's say Atlas is in terms of its price point, and in terms of how they have tried to match the ratios. It's obviously a percent lower than Atlas in terms of returns for base spends, but also then it's an additional avenue of transferring miles outside the Axis quota, right? So somewhere in that Atlas range, I think the fee is also 5,000 rupees. Now that these two things make me the most excited right now, honestly, right? And just to give the viewers an idea who don't know about the program, it's basically a 3% return rate for every 100 rupees that you spend. You can essentially get 3 miles back. And just to give you an idea, outside the Smart Buy platform or outside, let's say, the multipliers, even HSBC gives 3%, HSBC Premier. So it's a pretty good ratio. So like we always keep saying, right? Anything higher than 2 to 3% is a great ratio from a reward rate, right? So that's what I'm most excited about, Aadil.
All right, thanks, Dhimant. So initially, first things first, you're saying it's another card that introduces Miles partners to the journey. Second, you're saying that this is a flat 3% card, which is very, very cool. And that's what makes it interesting. There is a fun question for you. Devansh, thanks for following us. Thanks for commenting. He's got a question for you. How many Axis credit cards do you have, Dhimant?
Just
two. You want to name them? Dhimant?
Yeah, I have Magnus Burgundy and I have Burgundy Private, the one card. Atlas I closed. The Axis Vistara I closed, and I don't want to apply any card because I don't see the need of it, honestly. Like I personally am not a very big fan of collecting cards, right? So these are the two cards that I have, Devansh.
Got it. There are a few more questions that I want to quickly flash. Then we'll get on to the next question and we'll bring Ameya into the fold. So Devansh, hope that helped. Mohit made a fun comment. Mohit says that he's got 10 credit cards because of our channel and he's using it a very effective manner. Mohit, more power to you. Let's hope this is a cautious reminder to all our friends who are tuned into the channel. Please pay your credit card bills on time in full. Right? Otherwise, you don't want to get slapped with interest penalties and they can potentially kill you. But Mohit, glad you're having a good time. Glad you're getting it more effective. More power to you, brother. So Sarthak, you're saying you have a question. Sarthak, go ahead, put your question as a comment on YouTube or as a reply on Twitter. I see you're in YouTube, so go ahead and do that. We'll flash it here, and then we'll ask Dhimant and Ameya your question. Anag says that he's finally catching us live. He's been following us from the very first video. Have watched all the videos multiple times. Thank you, Anag, for your love. This is why we kind of keep doing this. This is what motivates us. Thank you, Anag. And then we've got a very interesting question from Sarthak. Sarthak, this is a great question, and I want to cover this, but we'll cover this once we've finished covering the discussing the PowerMiles credit card. So I've started this question. I'm starting a lot more questions like these, and we will cover this as soon as we finish covering the PowerMiles section. So with that, back to Ameya. Ameya, let's talk about the reward structure a little bit. Dhimant talked about the 3% that we get, while Atlas gets us a 4%. There is this international spends 3x on this card as well, right? So let's start around, what you think of the card, your quick opinion, along with, the reward structure, with the specific analytical Ameya that we know you for.
Sure. So it's 3x is awesome. Okay. So I think just to get into it. So yeah, and this is a card that gets you 3% by default. We will talk in a little more time with respect to what are the rumored transfer partners and whatnot. But 3% in terms of air miles is great. Now the kicker is there's a 3x on Forex, as you mentioned. So Forex charges a 2% markup, and you're getting a 3x. So you're essentially looking at 9 air miles against a 2% charge. Now 2% is sort of similar to a lot of cards in this sort of an area. Even if you compare it with your HSBC Premier, Atlas is notorious for having an even higher charge. So all in all, I think it is one of the best cards you can get with respect to making Forex spends. I think there's very few that are able to trump the sheer return itself. Maybe something like Magnus Burgundy on AEP, which granted, it's only during times when you're spending big. But this could end up being a very asymmetric card with respect to Forex spends. It could also help us with respect to diversifying a little bit, because there are quotas with respect to Atlas, there are quotas with respect to multiple banks. If the transfer partners are decent, and the rumors that I hear is there's a reasonable variety, I think it could be a very nice thing to add on.
Absolutely. I think those are great remarks, Ameya. Let's double click a little more, Ameya. Let's talk a little bit about lounge access. Does this card offer lounge access, and what's the categorization for international versus domestic coverage?
Right. I think the documentation is out there. I don't really hold the cards, so some details I don't know. But from what I see, I think it's 2 domestic per quarter, 1 international per quarter is what they're offering, at least on the terms page.
Yeah.
Now, and it's a new product, right. So I mean, I'm sure there are things we will have to figure out with respect to what the application process looks like. It looks a little manualish right now, but it looks promising. Yeah.
Yeah, but Aadil, you bring a very interesting point. I think we are seeing a fundamental shift in how the lounge economics are working out now for card players. And in the last 1 year, you've seen how cards have started putting minimum spend criteria. We should not be surprised, because it's a loss-making business for the bank beyond a point of time. But I think there's going to be a good demand of cards where the lounge access is given as complimentary. So let me put it in a different way, right? If I am somebody who travels 2 or 3 times a year, right, I would rather prefer less number of visits, but without any spend conditions, right? Instead of saying, okay, you spend and then you get 10 or 15 lounge visits. So it is interesting that they put 2+1. I don't see any spend limits that they're put in right now. So great for somebody who's spending just 5,000 a year. I mean, even if you go to lounge 3 times, you basically use the whole value of that card, right? So
thanks for that, Dhimant. There is a very interesting question from Prashant, who's logged in from Twitter. Prashant, hey, thanks so much for engaging with us. We interact often on Twitter. We've not met in real life, but it's fun to see you joining in the live stream as well. Thanks for engaging with our handles on Twitter. So Dhimant, Ameya, question to both of you. Apparently, there is some tire status on the card based on monthly spends. Can we talk about this? What are your thoughts?
So whatever little I've understood. So first of all, the tire structure is not clear. They haven't released it. Let's be clear about that. And again, I mean, we're going to talk about it at the end of the podcast also, that a lot of things are still unknown. They are gray areas, right? But whatever I have understood of the tier structure, it's basically similar to, let's say, an Atlas, but very different from Atlas in that way, right? So, for example, if you have a certain category of vouchers that you want to buy, which is 0.5 redeemable at 50 paise for a, let's say, a gold tier, the diamond tier basically gets 1 rupee value out of it, right? So, but what we, and again, there are some spend conditions saying कि आप इतना spend करोगे तो आपका tier next इसमें चले जाएगा. Now, they haven't released it officially, Prashant, right? So we are also waiting with bated breath. Honestly, like I was very tempted to press the apply button also, but honestly, I want to see where this goes. So both the tier status and so what I understood is in a year, there are certain spend conditions. The moment you hit that milestone, you move to the next year and your reward rates become better as you go to the next level. But what I at least understood is the earning rate doesn't change, right? So the earning rate remains the same. Or at least that's my understanding.
Very cool, very cool. There are some fun comments. Let's bring them up. Particularly this one. So Gamon says that what a surprise, boys. यार थोड़ा heads up दे दिया करो before coming live. Had to reschedule my 9 p.m. call. यार हम लोग ने आज शाम को ही decide किया यार. So we were also like very impromptu about it, and you know we just said कि let's get on and let's talk about it. And we're here, but we'll try and give you like obviously a much better heads up next time. And
anyways,
then
who wants to do a meeting on Friday 9 p.m. anyways, yeah.
For all you know, he's you know one of the people like me who's interacting with folks in the US. तो उधर तो अभी सुबह ही हुई है, right? अभी उधर सुबह के शायद 9:30-10 बजे हैं. So he would have to do that, right? So I feel you, Game On, and respect. Thank you for joining us and for postponing your call. Mohit says that he saved a lakh rupees within 10 to 12 months. More power to you, man. This is so fun to see. Thanks, Mohit. There are a couple of interesting ones for Dhimant that I wanted to flash. I thought they were very relevant. Yeah, this is the one. So Rudresh says that Dhimant's wearing Barca jersey after they won La Liga yesterday. See you next year. He's from Madrista, Hail Madrid. Dhimant, any comments?
Yeah, I want to share a fun fact. Aadil, should we share it? Like, I want to share this. So, when you wearing the India t-shirt last time, there was an India-Pakistan match, right? Okay. That was purposeful. We wore that t-shirt because there was an India-Pakistan match. India ended up winning that match handsomely. Last podcast shoot, I wore this t-shirt, and it was one of the Real Madrid-Barca matches that day. Obviously, us din it was not planned, but Barca happened to win. So, what RCB t-shirt next? बताओ करना है क्या तो try कर सकते हैं.
वो तो फटाफट कल ही पहनना पड़ेगा यार, because the next match is tomorrow and we really need to make it to the playoffs. So thanks for that comment, Rudresh. Similarly, from Saksham, we've got another comment. I don't follow a lot of football, so I don't quite catch what that is. But Dhimant, I hope you get what Saksham is saying. With that, there are a lot of fun comments coming here. Specifically asking about, like for example, let's say, what is the difference between Club Marriott and Marriott Bonvoy? It's a great question, and we'll take this. Similarly, Ansh says that he got inspired by Dhimant and his advice on making impromptu plans, booking points, planning a trip next month using his Atlas and Amex. But he's torn between Hong Kong and Singapore. What do you suggest for his third trip and why? So again, we will take this question, but give us some time. Let's finish all the questions related to this particular PowerMiles card, and then we'll get on to it. Harit's a regular again on the show. He's a very engaged follower, and he tunes in regularly. This question I think we can take now. Dhimant and Ameya, your thoughts. If somebody already has an Atlas, should they consider taking this card? Yes or no? And in what situation, yes? And in what situation, no?
You want to go first?
Yeah. So I think the raw reward rate itself is less than Atlas, right? So Atlas is 4 miles per 100. This is going to get you 3 miles per 100. Atlas also has a milestone. So from an everyday spend, it probably makes sense if you want to do it for diversification. However, the 3x on the forex is a kicker. So if you think that you've got a reasonable amount of spends that are in a foreign currency, I think it's a no-brainer. It absolutely makes sense. And while we are on this point, I just want to add again, this is nothing that is announced as of now. But with a close friend, I was reasonably sure when speaking to someone from the bank with respect to transfer partners. Now, we could be wrong on this, but from what I hear, there's not too many hotel programs. You can do a one-to-one at Taj, if I'm not wrong, from what he said. And airline programs, he mentioned a few interesting ones. So there is one Avios one, from what I understand. It could be, I think it was BA, but yeah, you can anyway move between all of them. There was one of the Asian airlines. I don't remember if it was Thai or Vietnam. I think it was Thai. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I think it was Thai. Air India was a partner, which is decent, useful for us potentially. And then I believe it was one of the Middle Eastern ones. Etihad, if I'm not wrong, is what he told me. So again, none of this is confirmed per se. This is just speculating, but I think with a reasonable amount of information, I think it could happen. Now, in this kind of a scenario, getting these 9 points for every 100 rupees that you spend, that you can put into stuff like an Etihad or an Avios, I think it's a great deal. So the way I look at it, if you've got forex spends, no-brainer. If you don't, and if you're holding an Atlas, perhaps for diversification. And there are a few partners that open up that Atlas doesn't have. Atlas doesn't have Etihad, if I'm not wrong, right?
I think the sweet spot, what I've actually understood is JAL, because JAL ke liye only Axis is the only partner, and I think this has JAL. So while obviously this has not come on their website yet, but I think there is a strong discussions between RMs and banks that they've sent some of these documents out. So I think JAL is another sweet spot, I feel. United is another option that opens up, obviously outside Axis. So all of these are 1:1, right? So Harit, this is my at least point of view, Harit. If you have only Atlas, right, and you travel a lot, I don't end up using my Atlas in Forex at all because of the high Forex rate. For that simple reason, I would use it. I would take the Equitas and I would use it. But if you have the Magnus Burgundy and the Atlas, I would probably skip it, is how I see it, right? So if you're only sitting on an Atlas, this actually makes a lot of sense in my view. That's number one. Second thing, like a general advice to most people here, I would, till the time, because Equitas is not a very well-established bank, also don't try to accumulate too much points in this program, right? So think about it from an earn and burn perspective. So again, a perspective, if I'm having Atlas and if I haven't used my 30K quota, I probably wouldn't go for an Equitas, right? Only if I foresee myself finishing that quota for this year or the coming 12 months, then I would probably get this card. At least that's my point of view.
I think both of you made incredible points, Dhimant and Ameya. Like, just to summarize, right? Ameya said that this is a very good sweet spot for Etihad. Like, for those of you who, like, we're all familiar that Etihad is now flying their A380, where you can experience Etihad first from Bombay to Doha for 50,000 points, right? And if you want to experience that cabin, it's a great cabin, first of all. And for 50K, this will be great. Now, how to get there? I think, like, for example, like Dhimant was saying, right? You can't use Atlas because the foreign currency conversion is 3.5% plus GST, so it comes up to 4%. But here, what is going to happen is, because you're going to get 3x, like Ameya said, that makes it 9% minus 2% of your currency conversion charges. So it'll come to net 7%. So international spends by 7% is fantastic. So one is that. The second thing that Dhimant said is spot on. Like, you have no other transfer. There are only two transfer partners in my head for JAL. The first one is, like he said, Axis. The second one is moving your Marriott Bonvoy points. But Marriott Bonvoy points is 3:1, so it kind of pains. So dil se thoda dard hota hai. So now what happens is, because this opens up, a lot of us, I don't think, have realized the power of JAL. And credit for this to Niranjan, who we call in our points and miles circle Niranjal, who talks about this and who schooled us on how to optimize JAL, right? So JAL is not just great for Japan, but it opens fantastic one world availability. It also opens up Emirates business availability. It used to open up first also, but now, like we all know, Emirates recently talked about pulling the plug on that. So that's going to be faded away. But I think if you want to score Emirates, if you want to score One World, and if you want to score JAL, this is a fantastic, fantastic program. So let's come back to another question. And this is a question that I also had, but Prateek also asked. Dhimant, will come to you. What's the difference between Marriott Bonvoy and Club Marriott memberships? Now, as we understand, Dhimant, this card gives you Club Marriott membership and EazyDiner membership. Talk a little bit about both, and then help us understand what's the difference between Club Marriott and Marriott Bonvoy, and when it makes sense to have which one.
Yeah. So first of all, if you guys know me and you attended some of the podcasts and the live streams, I always attach values to what I get. In my head, when I was looking at this program, the moment I saw EazyDiner and I saw Marriott, Club Marriott, I associated a ₹0 value with it. I'm just being clear in how I see the value, right? But let me first break down what a Club Marriott and Marriott Bonvoy is. Marriott Bonvoy is a loyalty program, folks, right? So Marriott Bonvoy is a loyalty program where you stay with Bonvoy, you earn points, and you keep moving up tiers like Accor, right? Accor ka jo all program hai, that's equivalent of a Marriott Bonvoy program. The Club Marriott is more like Accor Plus. It's an additional membership that you can buy, or you can get it from somebody, and you get set of vouchers or discount codes that you can use to get dining discounts, for example, right? So the reason I used Accor analogy is because Accor a lot of people are using now, right? But if you were to not take even the Accor analogy, to make it even more simple, Club Marriott is like a paid membership program that you get and get coupon codes or discounts, right? So that's how I put it, right? And in some sense, everybody who is in the miles game should have a Marriott Bonvoy loyalty account, right? But not everybody actually needs a Club Marriott account. Club Marriott account or a Club Marriott membership makes sense only for those people, one, who go often to, let's say, dine in a Marriott, right? That's one of the strong use cases. I know Ameya has used Club Marriott vouchers, for example, in dining, right? I don't dine in Marriott. So I think I've never ever used any Club Marriott benefit at all, right? So this is what my point of view, at least, Aadil, is.
There is one small thing to add, like Club Marriott memberships, it's of two types, right? And there's the ones that we know of which come free with cards. You can also go to a specific hotel and buy that membership from them. So the ones that you get it from the hotel, the way I understand it is you get like a free night voucher at that hotel. So sometimes if you're going to go to a very specific place, it might be worthwhile to just call them up and ask whether, this kind of a membership is there. Again, it's APAC only. It is not anywhere else. And this membership actually, as you mentioned, the dining is one thing. The other thing is you can also double dip on this membership sometimes. So I remember I had a 30% off room rate or some coupon from my Club Marriott. And I was able to combine this with the 5x offer on the Marriott Bonvoy card last year. And I think all in all, it ended up being like, a very, very rewarding spend. I think, Aadil, you probably know a little more about the Marriott membership, the specific hotel one. I think you've used it.
Yeah, so thanks for pointing that out, Ameya. So I think Club Marriott has two flavors: the free membership that comes with cards like Equitas. The other one is you can go ahead and buy a Club Marriott membership. When you buy a Club Marriott membership, they are specific to the hotels that you buy. Now, I'll tell you where this can be really useful. So, for example, let's say you're planning to go to, let's say, any city in India. For example, let's say Delhi. Now, oftentimes at certain dates, which are like peak holiday season dates or busier times, the rates of these can be really, really high. But then you want to stay for whatever reason, let's say in central Delhi, and you want to stay at a particular property. In that case, you can go ahead and buy that membership of that particular program. When you buy the membership of, let's say, that particular Marriott in that particular city, then what happens is you get 1, 2, or 3 nights complimentary, depending on the tier of the program that you buy. So whether you buy the silver membership, gold membership, or the platinum membership, they have different tiers. So there is a Club Marriott website. You all can go take a look. And I have found this to be very useful when I know it's a busy time to travel. So what I do is plan in advance is what I would say. Buy it 6 months out call and don't buy the membership online. This is my hands-on recommendation. I know for most people it's very easy. Just click the button, put your card details, and boom, it's done. My recommendation for buying a Club Marriott membership is call the respective hotel. So let's say if I want to buy a membership at, let's say, JW Marriott Bangalore, which is on Lavelle Road, I would call JW Marriott. I would say, hey, I'm looking to buy your particular membership. They'll connect you to someone. When that person connects to you and he's the salesperson who's responsible to sell the membership to you, tell them, ask them, is the date available on this particular date? If he says yes, then say, I will buy the membership only if you confirm my booking right now. If he confirms the booking, go ahead and take it. But before buying, again, compare what are the revenue rates on that particular day. If the revenue rates are substantially cheaper, buy the membership. If the revenue rates are not substantially cheaper, doesn't make sense buying upfront, right? So I think if you are also the types who enjoys doing staycations in your particular city, this can be pretty helpful. So yeah, I think those are my thoughts. But with that, let's get back to the PowerMiles card. Now, there is another very interesting question. There are two questions actually. One is by Prashant, who says, any one of you going for this card? So Dhimant, Ameya, your thoughts? Are you all going to be applying now, or are you all going to be waiting and watching?
I'll be waiting.
Ameya?
Similar. I'll wait. Largely because I have the access diversification from HSBC, so that works out. It is very good for Forex for sure, so I'm tempted, but have nothing planned yet, so I'll wait.
I think that if somebody has only the Atlas and if he has decent spends for the year and has travel plans where he can max out the Group A limit, I think it makes sense for them to apply this and get the ball rolling. But again, the rumored start of this program and the miles program is October. So it would make sense for a lot of you guys to wait for October in my sense. I don't think we need to hurry. Also, I didn't see Accor on the list. So I'm hoping that this is not an exclusive and a full list, right? So let's just wait a little bit more to see where it goes.
All right, let's go to the other question. I have another question which also Kumar has. So my question was going to be, is the 5,000 fee justified given the annual benefits? But then Kumar has an even more interesting question. How does this compare purely to Atlas? Because the fee is exactly the same. Are their offerings too good to be true at this point in time? What are your thoughts?
Not really. I personally didn't feel it's too good to be true. See, let's do a like-to-like comparison, right? Atlas versus Equitas, fees same. You have 4% base return. Here you have a 3% base return, right? So this trumps on the base return for sure. Accelerated earning, you have hotels and airlines pay 10 EM earning. Here you don't have that earning, right? So 5 EM earning, sorry. You don't have that earning opportunity here. So there I think Atlas trumps this card. The third place and the only place where this card trumps Atlas is the 4x multiplier, right? So in that sense, this is one place where it trumps, and the second place where it trumps is, again, this is the rumored thing that they don't have a Group A limit, right? So if I have a large transfer, that, for example, if I want to make a travel for 3 people, I mean, the 30K limit on Atlas is not going to be sufficient, right? You're going to require more miles. So if you have only an Atlas, it still makes sense. But in my sense, Atlas is still a strong card and the offering doesn't look out of the whack, which means that it will also not get very devalued very easily, right? So that's at least my 2 cents.
All right, let's take another question. The other question that I had is, Ameya, let's come to you. For who or what kind of user is this a card that they should absolutely get? And for what kind of user should stay away from this card? Let's talk persona-wise so that people understand who should get this card and who should stay away from this card.
Sure. Heavy forex spenders, if you are not able to get a Magnus Burgundy, I think that is a clear one persona which can benefit a lot, because I mean at the end of the day you have to make up the benefit of the 5,000 joining fees also. Now I did see a comment that they do give it free for certain customers. If you're able to get it first year free or lifetime free, I think that is great. But if not, yeah, I mean, heavy forex spenders, number one. Number two, you have an Axis Atlas card, and you think you easily exhaust your Group A limits, you want to get more diversification with respect to earning miles, I think it's a good card.
All right. Dhimant, any thoughts there? You've clearly voiced that for those who are looking at international spends, this is a great card. So I think that's like one persona. Any other persona in your head who should get this card and who should stay away?
I personally feel that you should probably just hold on for any other personas. But if you have a clear case, two cases that you spoke about, Forex travel hai, and you don't have a Magnus Burgundy or an Infinia or any of the top cards, go for it. Like I would say, and again, the beauty is that while the miles partner may come on in October, you can start earning the 9% right now, right? So, and in that sense, forget Atlas. In Forex, it even beats Olympus. The only other card which gives better return on Forex today is Reserve because of that 12%. And again, it was not supposed to be 12%, honestly. Like it's not supposed to be 12%, right? It's there today, but it's supposed to be 6%. And the second, and it's a 50,000 rupee card, right? So makes no, I would say if anybody going to have significant Forex spend, this is probably a better choice than going for a zero Forex card at this point of time.
All right. With that, another very, very interesting question. I actually didn't think about this, but Piyush makes an excellent point. How does this compare to HSBC Travel One? I think it's a great question. Let's start with you, Dhimant, and then we'll bring Ameya in.
It's 1% higher return rate than HSBC Travel, because it's 2% return on HSBC Travel and Atlas gives 4%. So it's slotted right in between both of them, sandwiched. And if you look at miles partners, the ranking would be Atlas is the best. You have probably HSBC Premier as second, and this would be third. So I'm not Premier, Travel, because the partners are the same, and this would be probably right there up there, right? So in my head, I think it's still a better proposition than the HSBC Travel card, right? So again, we don't know devaluations, how they will happen. It's a small bank. This is the first card. So all of that is a big question mark. But purely from a numbers perspective, it is slightly better than HSBC Travel One.
All right.
I'll actually have a slightly contrary point there. Welcome benefits are better on HSBC Travel One. So I think all in all, I don't think it is better. Maybe if you're able to get the card for free, it might be better. But yeah, otherwise I'd prefer the other one.
I mean, let's think about it this way, right? From a multiplier lens, HSBC has multipliers on OTTs, right? So if you have a lot of OTT bookings that you want to make using this card, it's a travel card. This is not a travel card. There are no multipliers on travel, right? So for me, this is more of a Forex card. So if you have a lot of foreign bookings, go for this card. The returns will be better from a math perspective. But if you have a lot of bookings on travel, and if you don't have the Atlas, then Travel One makes better sense than an Equitas or an Atlas.
I think that's very well summarized. So with that, I think now we've kind of talked enough about the Equitas PowerMiles credit card. I think it's now time to jump to very exciting questions that a lot of people have asked. I already have a list of 25 questions that I think we can go through really, really quickly. And for those of you tuning in, fantastic. Thank you for tuning in into this impromptu live stream. We are broadcasting on 3 channels today. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Twitter, and we are live on our Instagram. So wherever you're tuning in from, if you have a question, like you can see, we're flashing people's questions on screen and we're trying to keep this interactive and answer. If you're on YouTube, please put in your question as a comment on YouTube. We'll feature it and we'll try and answer this. And then if you're on Twitter, then obviously reply to us on Twitter, whether you're tuned into Dhimant's handle, my handle, Ameya's handle, or on the Great Indian Mile handle, and we'll try and answer this. To all 650 of you, big thanks for tuning in on this lovely Friday evening. So with that, let's jump to questions. I'm going to go right from the start now. And we'll take questions one by one, and I'll keep monitoring questions and we'll keep adding them. So this is a very interesting one. Ameya, I think this is ripe for you. Sarthak is asking, how can I transfer my mother's Amex points to my Qatar Privilege Club?
It's a little tricky. I don't think Qatar allows you to do pooling, right? If I'm not wrong, I'm not the expert here. British did have some notion of. Go on.
Ek route hai. The hack in my head is move your mother's Amex points to Marriott From her Marriott, gift them to your Marriott, and from your Marriott, move it to your own Qatar privilege. So, for example, let's say if you have 100,000 points in your mother's Amex, move your 100,000 Amex from your mother's Amex to your mom's Marriott account. Then, from your mom's Marriott account, gift those 100,000 points to your Marriott account. And once they are in your Marriott account, remember you can transfer 3:1. So, what I would suggest is make a 60,000 transfer first, because once you do a 60,000 transfer first, you will get 20,000 and then you'll get a 5,000 bonus. You get 25,000. And then Baki ka 40,000, if you can have 20,000 more transferred, then you'll get 50,000. But if you don't have, then those 40,000 will convert at 3:1. That's the only legal, logical, safe route in my head. But Dhimant,
Well, you can also
Aadil, there may be a better way of there may be a better way of doing it. Like, you don't necessarily need to move your Amex points of your mother to your Qatar Privilege Club. Create a Qatar Privilege Club account for her, move it to her account, and as far as I understand, similar to Singapore, her mother can also book for 5 nominees tickets on Qatar, right? So, which means that if he and his family wants to travel using his mother's points, technically it's possible. Obviously, you can change the nominees only once a year. So as long as you are doing it legally for your family and you don't need to spend it for friends or a lot of people, I think this works better in my view. If I'm not mistaken, Qatar allows this.
Qatar allows it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it. 2 people have validated. Then that's definitely like a much better approach, because your conversion is going to be 2:1 rather than 3:1. Because if you go to the Marriott route, it will be 3:1. But if you go the direct route, because Amex transfers Qatar 2:1, I think that's like a much more logical route. So Sarthak, hope that helped. Let's get on to the next one. This is a question from Utkarsh. Has anyone received the joining benefits and base rewards rate credited to their ICICI Emirate Private Metal? Dhimant is saying no. I got it very recently, maybe 3-4 weeks back, so I haven't received anything. Ameya, anything for you?
No, not yet.
So, I spoke to the RMEs, escalated it today, and I think as far as I know, they've said that after your first statement gets generated, it should take 45 days from there, is what I have been told. Reward rates, base reward rates have been credited. The multipliers also have been credited, but only of certain. I got the card in March, so I got the multipliers for March. I've not got the multipliers for April. So joining benefits kuch bhi nahi aaya. Neither the Taj has come nor the joining points 12,500 have come. But Utkarsh, again, like we spoke in the EPM ka live stream, Aadil, right? Or I feel that you should expect some of these hiccups. It's going to happen. Happened with HDFC as well when they launched. We're going live with Smart Buy and a lot of years back. So I expect these hiccups to be there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to easily go away.
Makes sense. So there you go. I think patience is key, Utkarsh. It's a new card. iShop is a new platform. Let's give ICICI some time. When the time is right, and then when it's right. Anyways, we're still waiting for Miles Partners also to be announced by them, right? So I think we can do some patience. It's okay. Till then, let's try and collect miles in our other platforms. With that, let's come to Kumar Gaurav. He's got a very interesting comment. He said, "Don't tell me I need to get another card." No, we're not saying, Kumar, that you need to go and get another card. This is just for your information. Consume it. And depending on your use case, if you feel this makes sense, go for it. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy. You already have Infinia and Plat Travel, which are amazing cards. So I think you're kind of sorted. It's a function of how much you spend a year and what your redemption goal is. So I think based on that, you can plan. Let's come to another one by Ansh. Ansh says that he got inspired by Dhimant and his advice on making impromptu plans using points. And he's planning a trip next month using his Atlas and Amex points. But he is very confused between Hong Kong and Singapore. What do you suggest, Dhimant? Ansh wants to know.
Yeah, Ansh, so a very tricky question. Both of the destinations have been multiple times. I like both of the places. And I would recommend to Hong Kong first, like purely out of the fact that Hong Kong has a lot of things for everybody. Like that's my personal favorite. But again, if your question is what do you suggest for the third trip outside Hong Kong and Singapore, if that's your question, I would strongly recommend look at Vietnam. Three reasons. One, Singapore Airlines, brilliant product, great mileage. The same mileage that you require to go to Singapore on business, you will be able to fly to Vietnam in the same mileage. Second advantage is the visa is very easy to get. It's flat 72 hours. The visa is cheap. The city is extremely cheap. The country is extremely cheap. Right. So look at Vietnam, and like that would be my recommendation for the third trip. And we made an impromptu trip. Like I made an impromptu trip, so it's doable. It's not that much of a problem to do an impromptu trip.
All right, there you go, Ansh. You have the question answered, and Dhimant is Vietnam vibes right now. So let's take a look at that and see, if that helps you. With that, let's come to another one. I think, Dhimant, you've particularly talked about this in one of our recent episodes. And I think it might be worthy to talk about this a little bit today so that people who are tuned in live can get a sense of what you were saying. Piyush is asking, he's still at the start of his career. How important is getting a beneficial salary account? He's currently with SBI.
Yeah, so here it is. Here's the thing. I mean, when we started our careers, we never had choices to choose our bank account, right? So the process was we would go to office pehle din and they would give us a form to fill saying कि आपको ICICI bank account खोलना है हमारे बैंक के साथ and हमारे and we would open it. Now there is a choice. A lot of these new age companies and most companies today allow you to move accounts, right? So it's मेरे mind में it's extremely important. It will give you your first credit card. So I'll give you a perfect example, right? If you have your first HDFC account as your salary account instead of SBI, you can get the Regalia Gold and start your Accor co-branded card journey, right? Imagine you spending all your money in the first year on the Regalia Gold card. That's a mind-blowing start to your travel ambitions. Like that's as simple as that. So I would say it's extremely important.
Yeah, I think very, very good advice, Dhimant. So, Piyush, let's get on that journey. Let's figure it out, and hopefully you'll get a good one soon. With that, let's come to another very important question. So, this is a very, very interesting question. If you have Burgundy Magnus, do you need any other cards at all? I think it's a fantastic question. Ameya, let's come to you on this.
It's a supply problem. No, I think the biggest one. I think it's a beautiful card, obviously, but 200K Group A. If you're able to use it up, for all you know, you can just do Magnus Burgundy. I think it is fine. So that's one. Second thing, I think once in a while you do get a few sweet spots from cards here and there. I keep harping about the HSBC Life Plus card. I think that is very useful. So mostly not, but if you are exhausting your Group A limits, or if you don't trust Axis, or if you want diversification, I think you might want another one. But otherwise, it's a great card. I think it's, if you had to ask me what is one card I would hold, only one card, it would be this one.
Right? I think good answer, Ameya. Let's come to another one. Devansh is asking Delhi meetup when? Devansh, we're trying to do Bangalore meetup first. We don't know when we'll do that, but hopefully soon. We really want to do it. It's just that, all three of us have been traveling like crazy, and for some reason, it's not an excuse. We've not been able to make it happen. But Pakka, the next time we travel to Delhi, we'll tweet it out, we'll put it up on YouTube, and those who are there, we'll definitely try and catch up. All right. With that, let's come to another one which is very relevant at this point in time on the Magnus Burgundy itself. And given you answered this question, Dhimant, I'll come back to you on this one. Why do you need Magnus Burgundy, says Surya Narayanan, and Burgundy Private, as the latter would give you all that you need with a 50K charge? Why shed another 30K? Is this an advantage?
Yeah, so I think factually there is some error here because the Burgundy Private is a free card. It is not a chargeable card. I don't pay any fees for that. So it comes free with the Burgundy Private account. That's number one. Number two, somebody asked this question before also, that if I have a Magnus Burgundy, do I need any other card? I think my answer is very simple. I use Magnus Burgundy only 3 months of the year whenever I'm hitting the AAP. Personally, I'll tell you why I like the Burgundy Private is because I don't like the pressure of spending that 1.5 lakh every month to be able to get into that 14% zone. There are months where I spend only 30,000-40,000 rupees, and that time I pull out the Burgundy Private card and I get a flat 6% off, right? So that's one. Second reason is the Accor Plus membership is free with that card, right? So the 2 nights that I get, all the time I have used it for value worth of 25,000 per night. So even if I use that 2 nights smartly, I think 50,000 ka value आराम से मिल जाता है. So the way I look at it, Burgundy Private actually pays you. You don't pay them, right? Because it's a free card, and then you get 2 nights plus you get a Book My Show pe massive limit, right? Because they have 10 1+1, right? So even on events, right? So it's a very generous limit on Book My Show. They have still a very generous limit on guest visits on lounge. They have very generous limits on the meet and greet services. So there are a lot of advantages of the Burgundy Private card. And by the way, the Group A limit, there is an additional 1 lakh quota that I get. It's very small, but it's higher than, let's say, what a Magnus Burgundy gets.
It's not small at all, yeah. With 1 lakh, you can do so many things.
Yeah.
1 lakh can be extremely precious. When transferring that out, that's like 80K. That 80K is like a round trip in business class to Japan on JAL, which is like extremely lucrative, right? Similarly, I mean, if you want to move it to SQ, then you can do potentially a Bombay Bali first class one way and still have some miles left, and you can do multiple journeys with that as well. So I think it's like a fantastic card, and a core 2 nights make up for a lot of money. If you use them right internationally, that can be some serious value. All right, another question from Devansh. Devansh says, have any of you tried Emirates Game Changer first class in 777? Devansh, I haven't tried it. I have tried the first class in A380. It is an absolute joy, unbelievable experience. But I haven't gotten a chance to try the Game Changer. Ameya, Dhimant?
None.
All right. Let's go to some more questions. This is very on the money. I think everyone wants to know. Any thoughts on when will Amex restart new applications? I think everybody wants to know this. Abhi, I really don't have any specific info. I haven't heard any intel when. Any thoughts on this, Dhimant, Ameya?
Yeah, so I have a gym buddy who works in Amex. So he has been telling me that the initial aggressive timelines were 4 months because they have to reroute the entire application process and they're setting up some new application flows, etc. But their expectation, it will take 6 months. So 6 months is somewhere June end or July is where I think they're expecting to start the applications again.
All right.
At least unofficially, obviously I don't know the official version, but this is what I know.
All right. So on the Amex, there's another one which Faris is saying that he stumbled across Equitas just last evening and he found it interesting because Amex has temporarily paused issuing new cards. He's pretty much itching now to add some miles related cards to his wallet. Should he kind of go ahead and get this card? So Faris, yeah, like we said, right, we described a few use cases, both domestic and international. If you're able to get the Atlas, our recommendation would be get the Atlas. If you're not able to get the Atlas, then maybe this might be a good one for you to think about and experiment. That's the way I'm thinking in my head. Ameya, Dhimant, any thoughts?
No, I think you should also look at let's say a HSBC travel one as well. If you have a lot of travel bookings that you plan to make, it may be a good option because the Miles platform is very stable for us. And Accor is a transfer partner, which is not the case in Equitas. Also, the transfer is immediate. So even though the earning rate is slightly less than Equitas, it may make more sense if it matches your use case.
Yep, there you go, Faris. And with that, let's come to another question from Piyush. Piyush says he got his Atlas today. Congratulations, Piyush. This is a fantastic card. Spend where you can, enjoy it, collect those points, and here's hoping you get a fantastic redemption. Now I'm going to come to a brain teaser for both Ameya and Dhimant. And I think both of them will enjoy solving this problem. There's a very interesting brain teaser thrown by Dilip. Dilip says he's got 2.5 lakh Amex points, 1 lakh Air India points, and 1 lakh HDFC points. But he's very confused about spending because he doesn't have the Magnus, or he's trying to say that he's away from the Magnus conversion. The question is, if you had these points, Dhimant and Ameya, if you had 2.5 lakh Amex points, 1 lakh Air India points, and 1 lakh HDFC points, how would you spend them? Let's say if you had to spend them on a dream vacation or two, what would be your strategy? It's a teaser, it's a riddle. Let's try and see what you would do.
Yeah, I mean, there are few options that are popping up in my head. Let's go with one of the options. 1 lakh HDFC point. Again, I'm assuming a family of two right now. I don't know whether it's one person or two people. Or three people, right? So I'm assuming a set of two people. You could easily do, let's say, HDFC, I would move to SQ, right? And I would try to get business class to, let's say, either Singapore or Bali or Vietnam, one of these. And the Amex point I would use to book, let's say, the Marriott at 1:1 and try to get accommodation for, let's say, a grade 3, 4, 5 nights, 4+1 maybe the offer that they run, where you book 4 nights with MB and get 1 night free, right? So 5 nights on points on Amex, moving to Marriott Banvoy, 1 lakh HDFC to probably do SQ, and I would probably use the Air India points to travel internally if the SQ flight is not available from my city, or I'll just save them from a later redemption for domestic travel. That's what I would do.
Ameya, your thoughts? Is it different than what Dhimant said?
Mostly similar. I'll tell you what I would do differently. I mean, the HDFC points are valuable. In case you do have to burn points, you could burn Air India for, an economy flight. Say, for example, you mentioned Singapore. You get Bangalore to Singapore at 12,000 points on economy. I mean, if the points are going to go waste, I'd say might as well. It's a 5-hour flight, 6-hour flight. Might as well use it up. And HDFC, you can always use it for other things, for smart buy if required. I think they're valuable. So I think given the specific scenario, I think burn Air India in priority if you have no better use of it. But if not, I mean, Singapore Airlines is anyway a great choice through HDFC. Marriott point is pretty much on point. Do the 4+1. And for hotels, I think this is the best way to go from here.
All right. Ameya, follow-up question for you. This is by Rushi. Question is, can you please suggest which cards I should have category-wise? Below 50,000 income. What are great cards for online shopping, grocery, utility bills, and sometimes travel? He's got the Airtel Axis and he's got the Tata New Infinity from HDFC. What are 1 or 2 cards he should consider adding? And let's make this a little more complex. If he adds 1 or 2 cards, should he retain the Tata New Infinity and the Airtel Axis, or should he ditch them?
No, I think you should keep them. I think it's a pretty good base. Airtel Axis not only helps you with a bunch of utilities as well. I mean, obviously Airtel directly, but if not other utilities also, you get a pretty good return there. And Tata New Infinity, I think I hope it's a free card. I hope you're not paying for it. But if you're not paying for it, if it's a free card, I think it's good to keep. If there were cards, I would suggest you want to add on over here, right? I think for grocery, you could pick either the HDFC Swiggy if you're buying Swiggy grocery, Instamart grocery, or HSBC Live Plus in case it is serviceable in your city and you're able to get that. HSBC I think is anyway a better one. The Swiggy card is decent as well, much more easier to get. Would be one card you can add. And if you're able to get Atlas, I think it is great. If you're unable to get Atlas, I mean, you can just you can pick up maybe HSBC Travel one for travel. I think it is okay. Or just pick up any card that gives you Amazon Pay vouchers. Unfortunately, Amex is not around right now. If Amex were still issuing cards, I would have told you get Amex Gold.
I think, like Rishi, my suggestion would be that considering that you're starting your journey and everybody grows in their journey, and we hope that you will also, right? You should have, because Airtel Axis and Tata Neu are both specific use case cards. Get a generalist. You need a generalist card. So what I would do is I would either try to get a Regalia to start my journey with HDFC, so that as you grow in your career, you can keep upgrading that card to a Regalia Gold and then to probably an Infinia. That will set you up, for the future and start your miles journey as well. At least that's what I would recommend. Get a generalist card. Start spending on that card so that you build a history with HDFC and they can give you a better card as time goes.
All right. Thank you for that. There's the very cool questions coming in. So Kaushik has this interesting question. He's planning to buy a car using a credit card. Which credit card should he get while trying to optimize for this?
I think it's a universal answer. I think you won't find a different answer anywhere. The first card you should try to get is the Magnus Burgundy. And if you have time, get that account, open that account, get the card. If you don't have it right now, get that card. If you have to pull some strings to get that card also, it's totally worth it, right? Because just to give you a rough math, if you spend if you buy a 10 lakhs car that you are going to buy, you're basically going to end up getting a lakh miles, right? So lakh and probably 40,000, right? If I'm not mistaken, Aadil, 14%, right?
Yeah, 14%.
Around 1.4 lakh miles you're going to end up with. That can easily fund your 2 people vacation return tickets on a flight, right? So that's first. The second, if you cannot get the Magnus Burgundy and you have to go ahead and buy it right now, get the Atlas and get it done with. Because the Atlas will
actually
yeah, go ahead.
Give a slightly different design. Obviously, Magnus Burgundy, for sure. Sorry for cutting. Yeah, I'm saying the Indus in Davios is a great car card because their milestones are 8 lakhs or 16 lakhs, which can fit in reasonably well with a couple of categories of cards. And yeah, you can get a big load of AVOs, good welcome benefits also.
Especially with the new changes to the card they made, I think it's only 10,000 rupees to get the card now. So, I mean, that also is a good thing now.
Yeah.
All right. While we're continuing to spend money, let's talk about spending more money. There's another one by Dr. Santosh Rao, and Dr. Santosh is asking, please suggest a card for insurance spends. He spends about 25 lakh rupees a year. Earlier, he used to use Vistara cards. Now he's looking at alternatives. So, Ameya, if one has high insurance spends, 25 lakhs annually, what card should one consider?
25 lakhs is huge. You're going to need to spread it across. If you had asked me this question a little while back, I would have said HSBC Premier. But they've also added a lot of quotas. I forgot what the exact one is, but I think up to
1 lakh.
It's lakh a month, right, Dhimant?
Lakh a month, yeah.
Yeah. So HSBC Premier, if you're able to spread out your insurance spend in multiple installments through whichever way, it can be a great first card to cover up a large bulk of this. Beyond that, it's always tricky. I think nowadays not too many cards that you can do that. I think of the ones that are available, Tata Neu Infinity is an underrated one. If you have your provider on Tata Neu, they have a fairly healthy daily quota. Just check it out once. But then beyond this, yeah, you are going to need to spread it out. I mean, so this is a big spend. It's much to do now.
So what I would recommend, Dr. Santosh, is that check if your biller is available on Tata Neu. I think that's the easiest way to get 5% cash back. And it works flawlessly. It's tested, tried. A lot of people pay their insurance spends on Tata Neu, right? So that's a great thing. But if you want to specifically earn miles out of it, then what you can at least do is, like Ameya suggested, take the HSBC Premier, 12 months, 12 lakhs spend on HSBC Premier. Another 12 lakhs, I think I'm assuming X you will cover with, let's say, Amazon Pay vouchers from other cards, right? This is some of the things that you can try and mix and match.
Right, I think, Dhimant, we're seeing some issue with your video. I think your video is frozen. So perhaps you can exit and rejoin. That might help. In the meanwhile, with Ameya's expertise, we'll try and address a few more spend-related questions. Ameya, question from Karan. Karan saying, which is the best card for income tax payment besides BizBlack from HDFC?
Right now, you can't apply for Amex. I would have said Black Travel is one of the options. You have HSBC Premier. Again, they've got that same lakh limit or whatever per month. That's decent. If not for these cards, one a nice outlier is your Indus in Davios again. It's got milestone and it gives you limited points for government spends also. So, I mean, yeah, I think here are just 3 cards you can use.
Right. That's a good one. And Ameya, there's a fun comment for you from Prashant. Prashant says, seeing Ameya's love for the Indusland Avios card, he finally got one too. Thought it was time to give it a shot and tackle those exclusion and spend cases, considering how now that IDFC Vistara is moving out.
Oh yeah, I think it can be a great card. I think, as Prashant said, I think a lot of exclusions are not there on this one, and it can be a good Swiss Army knife kind of a card. I hear someone is potentially planning to use it for rent. The problem with rent is that you will have to go through something like a credit no broker where the charges are high, but it does give you some base rewards. So there's a number of very interesting use cases that can come out from this card. Yeah, and we'll discover more, I'm sure.
All right.
Nice.
Dhimant, welcome back. Question for you on jewelry this time. Sautrik wants to know what credit card should he get for jewelry purchases. He's got the Amazon Pay, ICICI, and SBI SimplySafe.
I'm actually the wrong person to ask about jewelry, but if I'm not mistaken, Infinia still gives points for jewelry, right? The HDFC ecosystem. So if you have the Regalia Gold or the Infinia or the Biz Black, I think they're still good for jewelry. I think that's what at least I understand, but I could be wrong because मेरे को शादी करके 20 साल हो गए तो मैं अभी ज्यादा ज्वेलरी खरीदता नहीं हूँ तो it's quite some time.
Ameya, any inputs there other than
No,
the
I'm mostly out of the loop here too. I do know, however, that AU Bank once in a while they come up with nice offers during festival times. In fact, those can be quite rewarding, according to a good friend of mine. Yeah.
I think Axis is clearly a no. I think they have excluded jewelry big time. So वो तो definitely मत करना. And my understanding is HDFC is still not excluded, but you may just want to check it again, please.
All right. So with that, let's come to another one. Let's talk about Madhav's question. Dhimant, let's come to you for this. Madhav is a consultant with 2 to 3 lakh worth hotel spends in every month. Which card should he get?
Hey, Madhav, this is a very interesting question, but unfortunately, we'll need some more information to kind of answer that, right? Because being a consultant, there are 2-3 ways of booking tickets, right? So one is the company books it for you. Second is that you are allowed to book the tickets and then you can get it reimbursed, right? So let's talk about the case. My assumption here that you spend it and then reimburse it. That's my assumption that I'm making. If that's the case, the clear winner is Magnus Burgundy because you can use Travel Edge for up to 2 lakhs a month to book hotels, and you will get what is the multiplier, Ameya? It's 24x, right? I mean, the miles percentage. It's 24.
Yeah, so 24. It will become 4.8 into 5 is 24 if you book from Travel Edge.
Yeah. And in most cases, at least Travel Edge, I've seen most of the hotels are there. So you should be able to get great returns on the Magnus Burgundy, man. But if you have to book, and the second option obviously is Atlas. You can go ahead and book on Atlas and get 10% back. That's a no-brainer if you're booking using the website of the, the hoteliers, etc. That's a second option. But if you're getting the company, like I'm not sure what's the equation here, but my recommendation would be the Magnus Burgundy and Atlas here. Aadil, your suggestions on this?
I think same. What you said. According to me, Magnus Burgundy is a no-brainer. Just use Travel Edge flat out for the 2 lakh limit every month and get the 24%. But the other thing that I'm keen to understand from him is like, is he chasing loyalty status, right? If he's chasing loyalty status with Marriott, or if he's chasing loyalty status with Accor. For example, if you have 2 lakhs spends a month, Madhav, you can get to Accor Diamond very easily, right? So if you can think about that, it can help you crazy optimize and eventually you're sorted with a ton of benefits with Accor Diamond. So it's a function of if you're a Marriott guy, if you're an IHG guy, if you're a Taj guy, if you're a boutique hotels guy, it depends on what you're really chasing. The MMT double black status can also be pretty valuable because with that, I've seen oftentimes, they include dinner as an upgrade in the basic cost itself. So I think it's a function, like Dhimant said, we need more information. But if you're specifically looking at a card, no-brainer Travel Edge would be the Axis Magnus Burgundy. But otherwise, depending on what you're looking to chase, a combination of cards could potentially be used.
Well, Infinia with Smart Buy is also, I mean, 10x on hotels.
Yeah, absolutely. वैसे तो EPM is crazy now with 36%,
EPM is
right?
also crazy. Yeah.
Even more insane. So yeah, I mean, lot of options. Do dig in and get one of them, and then plan a redemption sometime soon. All right, let's come to Naman's question. So Naman's got a question. What will be the best airline partner to link my Accor Platinum membership? Qatar matches the status to gold. I'm not sure about whether it does. What would you suggest is a better airline partner? I don't think Qatar matches the status to gold, but Dhimant, Ameya, can we clarify this, please?
If you have
They had a status match sometime back. You needed to take one flight, and but I don't think that's valid anymore. I could be wrong. I think that offer is run out.
the
Dhimant?
offer was very similar to the Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite when you have SQ tied up and you take 2 or 4 revenue flights, they actually bump up your SQ status. Similar to that, there was an offer where if you took X amount of Qatar revenue flights, they would match your status up to Qatar Gold. So he's right, but I don't think it's a permanent feature, Naman. So we'll need to check this. But as far as I know, this is not a permanent status. If you have to take 2 revenue flights or 4 revenue flights, if I'm not mistaken, to get that status match, it's not a straight away status match by just getting an Accor Platinum. That I'm 100% sure of. I mean, I wish it was, but
No, but let's get to the other question also on that, which is what would you link your Accor account to? I guess your options are what? Flying Blue, Avios, Qantas, right? I think from a strict value perspective, I think Qantas is probably the best one. But redemptions are limited, so I've linked to Qantas. Dhimant, I believe you're on Flying Blue, right?
No, I am with Qatar, but
You're with Qatar now.
and I've been silently earning Qatar Avios for every hotel stay that I've done, right? So that's the beauty of it. I mean, my Avios keep getting collected, so I'm happy with Qatar. I'm probably not going to change it.
Same. I think I am also very happy with Qatar, and I'm just going to keep it as is. Are my thoughts. With that, let's come to Akul. There's another good question by Akul. He'd love to talk a little bit about the family pooling feature across airlines. How has been our experience, and what would we recommend? He's been aggressively trying to create them for him and his wife. So yeah, Akul, I have experience in family pooling for Emirates and Singapore Airlines. Emirates is a lot more confusing. I would say if you want to keep it very simple, no complications, work like the back of your hand, great UI UX, work like magic, I would just say transfer everything to your SQ account. In SQ, you can easily add family members and you can book through your own account. It is by far the simplest FFP I have seen out there. The second one that I would recommend, JAL is not very easy to use. The interface and all is a little clunky. But with JAL also, you can easily add family members and it's incredible value for money. The third one becomes Emirates. But the Emirates, there are certain disadvantages in family pooling. Like, for example, you have to create a family account and you have to choose whether the miles go to that account or to your individual solo account. And miles transferred once from A account to the second account can't be moved back. Also, what happens is when you click on, let's say you booked an economy ticket and you want an upgrade to business, or a premium economy ticket and you want to upgrade to business, the auto upgrade feature will not work if you're trying to upgrade from the family pooling account. So there are certain disadvantages also to Emirates, in my opinion. But my number one recommendation, easiest, world-class, no headache, amazing experience, Singapore Airlines. The second recommendation would be JAL. Dhimant, Ameya, happy to see your thoughts and experiences.
Akul, I have because when I started traveling in 2000, early 2000, right? So whichever airline I used to fly, like for example, Jet Airways, right? I used to always have a family pool. Over a period of time, Akul, what I've realized that while family pool is very important from an earning lens and, it helps in the long run, but it's very cumbersome for me. Like over a period of time, I have not used too much of family pooling, right? In spite of the fact that I have my daughter and my wife also traveling with me, I generally prefer airlines who let me book via the nomination process, and I don't worry too much about, let's say, the family pooling. After a point it becomes incredibly complex, maintaining multiple accounts, pooling, figure out in ye ja raha hai ki nahi ja raha hai. So it's good that you're trying to create that, and you should. But at one point of time, I feel that you will reach a stage you will say, okay, let's just do it this way. Like, at least that's been my learning journey. I don't really focus too much on family pools anymore. But I had it with Jet, I had it with Vistara, and it worked well. But again, it became too cumbersome after a point of time.
Yeah.
I actually have the Air India family pool, and it's worked seamlessly.
Which one?
Air India, Air India.
Air India.
Air India has got a great family pool in this one. So all points, you can decide what ratio you want to set. I think when you form the pool itself, you have to set the ratio. So I basically get all of my family's points into my account, and I can use it to book for anyone. That one is definitely easy to use and probably very practical for all of us as well. The second one that I am looking forward to start off with, and this they had temporarily banned for a few months, multiple months, close to a year because of some fraud, is the Air Canada family pooling. It's also because it's something that I do use frequently for booking some of my Air India flights. So these are the two ones. From what I know, also I think Air France has a decent family pooling feature. That's pretty recent. Virgin has a pretty good one too, but you need to be at a certain status for you to avail any benefits from it. So for a new user, it is useless. But for someone who might be flying it a little more often, I think there are some good things about it.
Yep, thanks for that. And then let's take a comment from Neeraj, who says he's a big fan. He's requesting a separate episode for the Kotak Solitaire card. That's a good input, Neeraj. We'll put it on the drawing board and we'll try and see if we can bring that to you soon. There's a fun comment from Nivas. Nivas is actually saying that we should have an exclusive session on double dipping hacks from Ameya. So Ameya, let's make a note of this. I think a lot of people have been requesting this. I think we need to package one and have you actually take a masterclass where you come ready with a PPT and say that this is Ameya's double dipping masterclass on all things cards, points, and miles.
Okay, let's take a quick poll. How about we create like a YouTube Shorts series in which we add shorts just on double dips? I don't know if there's enough demand, we can probably put something together.
Yeah, so guys, please put in your comments if you think Ameya should start a YouTube Shorts series just on double dips, and he'll bring you these exclusive insights. Let us know in the comments, and based on your responses, we'll try and double down. All right, let's come to another one, which is from Sayak. Sayak says, what are card recommendations for paying house registration fees? Dhimant and Ameya, thoughts?
There are only two cards right now. Three cards actually that I use for government spends. I'm going to talk through all three of them. One is SSBC Premier for up to 1 lakh spends a month. You can use it and no brainer 3% back, and you can convert them to Accor, which means that straight away आपको 5.4% back मिल जाएगा. So that is one of the best options. Second is IDFC Vistara, which you can spend and get points for government transactions. Unfortunately, they're not issuing the card anymore, but if you have that card, you can use that card. The third card is the BIS Black card or any of the BIS series. A BIS Power if you can't get the BIS Black. Get that card, get started. I mean, great. All of them give returns for government spend. In fact, the BIS cards have a multiplier 5x also on cards, 3x, 5x, right? So you may want to explore these cards.
All right. Piyush has got another question. Ameya, let's come to you. Can you tell us which frequent flyer program should be used to fly to Canada on revenue?
On revenue, pick the one that is the cheapest. Always, I think that is the straight answer. I mean, yeah.
He's asking, if I've understood the question well, he's asking which frequent flyer program should I add on to the revenue ticket to get maximum points. Is that what he's
that
asking?
way? If that is your intent, Piyush, typically the same airline that you fly will give you the best return. Like you normally can add, for example, across Star Airlines, you can give your frequent flyer across any airline, but the earning rates are a lot lower if you go out of airline. So if you think that the airline that you're using, you're able to, use those loyalty points, by all means, just continue to use that. If not, pick the one that any partner that you use more frequently. I think it's okay.
Also, there's a very cool site called wheretocredit.com. So if you're flying any particular airline and you're confused about where to credit your miles, just go to wheretocredit.com, put in the details, and it'll tell you actually what to do or what not to do, and it gives you very cool options. So
but
please
Aadil,
take a look.
this reminds me of those good old jet days, right? Everywhere I used to go, I used to always put Jet Airways number, even though there were less miles I would get, but it would just be gold, right? So
Jet was incredible. I still have some intermiles. God knows what will happen to them, but let's not come to that. But yeah, +1 on Jet Airways. Another question from Ravi Teja: what's the best award travel to New Zealand from India?
I mean, from a value lens, I am not 100% sure, but from a experience lens, it would definitely be SQ, right? But because SQ's program mileage is calculated not as a fixed route, etc., so it will be a slightly expensive program. My guess is it would be probably a Qantas or something on those lines. Ameya, you would probably know, right?
Well, there's one outside thing you can do. You can go to Qatar and then take a Q Suites from Doha to New Zealand. It's one of the longest flights ever, and you get the Q Suites experience. But yeah, I think apart from that, yeah, Qantas is decent. I mean, you can do Qantas on Qatar and stuff. This one is decent too, right? Singapore is anyway good. You can go to Singapore and Singapore too. I don't know if there's a direct to New Zealand, though. I don't know. To Australia, definitely Singapore can work out very well.
All right.
Cathay also has a good New Zealand connection, so you may also want to look at Avios via Cathay.
Yeah. Ameya, a lot of demand coming in for your double dip series. Yeah. So look at this. The Black Knight says yes, double dip. Ravi Teja says definitely we want tips from Ameya. Piyush is like for sure. Varun is like double dip. Nitish is like great idea. Samish is like yes, please make double dip shots. Varun is like absolutely. There's Agent 407 who says yes. And then we've got Game On, which says go for it, Ameya. So certainly a lot of demand. Let's try and see, if we can kind of get that going.
Done.
Let's come to another question on Japan. Bangalore to Tokyo. How should I know the tax amount in JAL? I checked it via Qatar and the tax amount is very high, close to 20K. My recommendation, Nitish, is just create a JAL account, log in to the website, and as simple as that, go to JAL award ticket, go to a JAL international award ticket, and then go ahead and search for the route. And JAL shows you a dynamic award chart. So if the mile requirement is very high, then go to the cheapest mile requirement and then accordingly see the taxes. I think the taxes should be anywhere between 1,500 to 3,000, not more than that, in my opinion. But that's the approach I would take. Dhimant, Ameya, any other?
I think Nitish could have a problem because even if he starts a JAL account, it doesn't let them operate them right away. So that's the challenge. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So if you want to do a check right now and he doesn't have an account, I'm sorry, but Nitish, the best option is to go and ask somebody, one of your friends, because if you create an account now also, they will not let you. But if you have an account, I know it's very painful. Go to your, don't use your app or web mobile, use your desktop application, and the JAL website is quite user friendly after some experiences, right? So mera suggestion hoga ki, like, if you have an account, do it via the JAL website. If you don't, then ask a friend and take somebody's help.
Yeah. All right. Let's come to another one where we are. This is another JAL one. So Sayak says that he'd registered for JAL Bank in January. He did not get any communication or the JMB card yet. Any idea how to check with them?
Sayak, so like 3 months ho gaya hai, so I would have said wait, but 3 months is already passed. So it's best to write to, you go to the JAL section, contact us section, there is an email ID, they respond pretty fast. So they will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours outside the weekends. Just throw a mail to him. The bad part is that I'm assuming you have saved that number that you got when they displayed, because you don't get an email from them with the number. If not, then you may want to send your email ID and ask, because I didn't save that number and I was very nervous. So that's something that you may want to just write to them quickly and get a confirmation on what's happening. Also, please check if the post office has got it, because a lot of the card comes from post office. You don't get any emails, you don't get any notification. So it comes from Hong Kong. A post comes from Hong Kong with the physical card. So we just want to check that as well.
They also have a Delhi call center number, if I'm not wrong. You can
Yes.
try reaching them.
Yes.
Otherwise, the worst thing you can do is, always apply for another account. It's okay, and you
No,
don't have
so
any points in it.
I had somebody else calling the Delhi number, and they asked them to send out an email because they can't
Okay.
handle those registration queries without the number. If you have the number that you saved, the membership number, they may be able to help you.
Right. I think we've got a lot more questions coming in. But before that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we started this live stream. We started, I think, an hour and 25 minutes back. And the intent was to talk about the Equitas PowerMiles credit card. We've done that at the start of the episode. So now what we're doing is we're just taking questions from the audience. And I'm very happy to report there are more than 1,000 people who are tuned in live into the live stream as of now. There
Nice.
are 150 plus of you who are watching us live on YouTube. And then there are about 500 plus people watching on the Great Indian Mile Twitter account. And then there are close to more than 170 people each on mine and Dhimant's account, and similarly more on Ameya's account as well. So again, big thanks, all 1,000 of you tuning in on this lovely Friday evening. I think we just got lucky because the IPL is happening tomorrow. We'll all be back to that. So we just made the most of this opportunity. With that,
Hey,
let's get into more questions.
I have one
Dhimant, go
request that I want to make. Folks, whoever is in the call right now, thank you so much for joining, and I hope you guys are having a ball. We're still seeing a lot of people, like 50% of our audience or 40% of our audience typically still haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you're there right now online, give it a shot. Just press the bell button and subscribe. We have some exciting videos coming in. I mean, we already have 2 in the pipeline, 2 more coming in. So just hit the subscribe button so that we can keep you informed about what we are cooking. Yeah, so that's a small request that I have for all of you guys. Thank you.
Like, subscribe. I think it helps us grow. So thanks so much. And we really appreciate you all tuning in. So with that, let's come to my next question. It's a very interesting question. And Ameya, perhaps you can take this. There's a very interesting question which said something on the lines of this one by Traveler Gen X. Traveler Gen X says, is upgrading from Atlas to plain Magnus, not Magnus Burgundy, Atlas to plain Magnus, worth going for? Should you keep one of them or should you keep both of them?
Yeah. So,
Go
yeah, I think for regular spends, not. I think in general, Atlas is good. However, plain Magnus is also a very decent card in case, number one, you have really big spends, or number two, you are able to make spends on the Travel Edge portal, right? That still gives you a 5x. That is still like a 12% back in terms of miles. That's incrementally better than what you get for Atlas. So, I mean, you could do it. It definitely helps if you're hitting AEP and those really big spends. But if not, I would say don't bother upgrading.
I would say there is only one use case that I can think of, and that use case is if you have buying a BMW and you don't have the Magnus Burgundy, which again is a rare intersection. I mean, on a very serious note, I mean, if you're buying a car or a real estate there who accepts a card, the Magnus Burgundy is a no-brainer, or even the plain Magnus is a no-brainer, right? So because you're going to get flat 7% back, that's unheard of. Even after paying 1.5% of MDR to your real estate guy, you're still going to net like 5.5. I know somebody who did it with Godrej in Bangalore, and one of our close circle friends, and he spent some 75 lakhs on real estate using the Magnus, right? So
yeah, we'll give you another hint. There was one of our guests who we brought on the show who's bought a lovely house in Bangalore, and not Godrej, but one of the tier 1 builders, one of the best builders. And he has used it. He's used Magnus Burgundy to get 14% back, which is insane. Can you imagine? So more power to him. We don't want to obviously name the guest because of privacy purposes, but you've heard him, and he's a big hit amongst the community. All right. Dhanraksha says that he's got the Emirate private metal card. So happy. Congratulations. It is genuinely, like, you get an emotional high, right, when you get these cards. So it's such a good feeling. Congratulations. There's another question by Dhanraksh on the Emirates private metal. He says, do I have to pay for priority pass in international lounges? No, Dhanraksha. You don't have to pay. The priority pass gives you unlimited access for yourself. also for your add-on cards. So you can log into your ICICI net banking, go into the credit card section, and if you want to get it for your family members, you can get it for your family members. It's called a plus card in ICICI Bank. Once you get it, the priority pass will come with every add-on or every plus card, and each of those cards gets you unlimited international lounge access. The same feature applies on HDFC Infinia as well. All right, there's a question on Magnus Burgundy by Abhishek Bhalla. And Abhishek says, great stuff, Dhimant, as always. Group B for Magnus Burgundy redemptions, please. Let's talk about what our options could be. Any sweet spots on Qantas?
Go for it, Ameya.
Qantas, after they recently changed their plan to dynamic pricing, a lot of Australian sweet spots have unfortunately disappeared. So you can use it if you have nothing better to do. But I think one thing you can definitely do with Qantas, one of the best ways to use Qantas, and Aadil will definitely agree with me with this, is to book Emirates first class. You get a great deal there. But if not, I will actually say something like ITC or even Flying Blue can be better value.
So Abhishek, the good part is that in one of our recent episodes, which is yet to be aired, we have spoken about this in detail. So a lot of people have been asking us कि HDFC का episode हो गया, Amex का episode हो गया, Axis का episode किधर है? So it's coming soon, and we spoke about a Group B redemptions in detail in that. But just to give you a gist or summary, my recommendation is to look at ITC as a serious contender. There are some really sweet spot, Abhishek. And second is Qantas pe, I mean, Emirates got devalued, but otherwise Emirates was a really sweet spot on Qantas some time back, right? So Emirates business you would have been able to do on Qantas. So again, that's something that you should look at. Obviously, Air India is. Ameya, we can talk about a lot of Air India sweet spots. Like for example, there are massive sweet spots that you can use on Air India as well, right? So look at Air India, ITC, Qantas pay, like I'm sure you will find a lot of good redemptions.
I think this is something we spoke about earlier also, Dhimant, which I think you or Ameya had highlighted, that on Air India, you can do, like if you're in US and you're looking to do a red-eye flight, what I mean to say is going from East Coast to West Coast or vice versa, let's say from San Francisco to New York, it's typically like a 6-hour flight, right? And those flights are expensive. So using Air India, about 40,000 points, you can book the first class. Now, don't confuse the first class with the first class of the Asian or the Middle Eastern airlines. A first class in US is typically business class in the rest of the parts of the world. But it's a great value because those cost a phenomenal amount of dollars. And 40,000 for a red-eye flight, overnight flight, Air India, on one of the US airlines, potentially United or one of those Star Alliance members, could be very handy for you. So Air India, again, great recommendation by Dhimant.
By the way, like one interesting thought, and we couldn't discuss this even in the Hong Kong episode when we did the episode, is that outside the Avios ecosystem, even Qantas pe Hong Kong fly kar sakte ho. There is Cathay ka availability on Qantas, which is little sporadic, but it is there. So you may want to just check that as well. Once in a while, you will see availability. So if you run out of your Group A quota and you don't have Avios and you don't have Amex to move to Cathay, this could be another way of doing, Hong Kong or Cathay flights.
Yeah. Follow-up question from, I think we had a follow-up question from, I lost that question. I'll come back to that question. But in the meanwhile, let's take, yeah, this is the one. So Dhanraksh was saying, thank you for taking my question. I'm a fan. Thanks, Dhanraksh. I've received the priority pass as well on Emirates Private Metal. Does the priority pass need to be activated or is it ready to go? It's ready to go, Dhanraksh. You don't need to worry about activating it. Most of the banks that send you priority pass are like good to go. So you don't need to activate it. Go ahead, fly internationally, have a good time, use the card and have fun at the launch. Let's come to this one. This is a fun one. So Kumar Vishwas says, he's looking for round-trip flights from Mumbai to London in June or July for 2 people. Any sweet spots you can think of on the fly? He has around 1.8 lakh Infinia and he has 1.3 lakh United.
Okay. I mean, because it's Infinia and United, I would have otherwise recommended definitely look at doing Dubai, London on Emirates. I found some really sweet redemptions on Jal, but unfortunately, I think he doesn't have access points. That would be one of my recommendations. If you want to experience once in a lifetime an Emirates flight, that's a great opportunity to look at Jal, at least the business flights. Otherwise, Aadil, you would be a better, like you would. I mean, Ankit's episode has a lot of recommendations on London, right?
Yeah, so I think so
Virgin.
Kumar, it really depends. Like Virgin, sometimes you can get lucky. Like for example, I have seen seats sometimes for 7,000 points economy, which is unheard of, right? But the tax
Correct.
component because of London can be slightly higher. The other ones you want to do is like Qatar. Yeah, it's just amazing. Like fine dining on Qatar is a whole new level, and especially the lounge access at Hamad International Airport in Doha, the Al Morjan Lounge. Is great. So I think if you can get Qatar, that might be very helpful. It's just that HDFC, yeah, what you'll have to do is you'll have to move ideally from HDFC to Finnair and then Finnair to Qatar, because then it'll become 1:1. Because if you move directly from HDFC to Qatar, then it becomes 2:1. So I think Qatar definitely, and Qatar is very good because Qatar, what happens is if you're doing Q suites, they have this couple pod as well. So the divider comes down and you can experience like a double bed Q suite for you and your partner. And then if you're traveling with kids, and if you can score 4 suites, and it's called the quad, but you're clearly going with 2 people. So I think you have enough to kind of try and experience that, in my opinion, if you do HDFC to Finnair and Finnair to Qatar. So if I were you, I'd go all out. But it really depends on what you want to do, and you also want to use a little bit of that maybe for accommodation. So try and see if you want to use economy, if you want to do business, you want to do first. I think it's a mix and match of that. Dhimant, you want to say something? Go ahead.
What about Life Miles Pair India? Like we discussed that as an option, right? That could also be a great option, no? Or that's
Seats is milegi, sir.
Sorry?
Life Miles is a great option. You will get Life Miles Air India, Bangalore, London, or any metro city in India to London for 45K. The problem is you will get only 1 seat. You won't get 2 seats. In his case, he wants 2 seats. So 2 seats is tricky. Qatar getting 2 seats should be,
correct.
it should not be a problem, in my opinion.
Also, transfer ratios are not great. I mean, you can buy points, but if you want to use points, one thing you can always do also is if you are willing to do a Bombay, Delhi, London, use Singapore Airlines and use the A350 business class.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great recommendation from Ameya. Let's talk about a question from Naman. So Naman says, apart from Amex Trifecta, what credit cards would be good for vouchers? And this is a great question. He's not eligible for Infinia, DCB, or EPM. What should he potentially optimize for?
I mean, go for the Regalia Gold, na? Like Regalia Gold is smart by multipliers. Go for the Regalia Gold. Start your journey, and you will become eligible for Infinia over a period of time, and DCB. Like I would suggest, go for Regalia Gold. Smart Buy is the best voucher platform that exists in the country today, undoubtedly.
Ameya, any thoughts? Regalia Gold is the best recommendation?
Yeah, like strictly for vouchers, I think so. But then then also explore that if you want to get specific cards for specific things. Like say for example, you could get the Swiggy card and use it on Swiggy rather than buying Swiggy vouchers. So that kind of things you might be able to do.
You may look at Times Black because easily given than let's say an EPM. Times Black would be a good option like for vouchers as well. Because a lot of people are using Times Black only for vouchers.
Yeah, and it's easier to get, right? We've seen like a lot of people get it very easily. So that's a great recommendation, Dhimant. Let's come to another fun one, and this is by Manbir. And Manbir says, which is the best redemption in Air Miles for Amex in Southeast Asia? I think we've talked a lot about this, but Dhimant, perhaps you can take it first and then Ameya.
I mean, Amex for Southeast Asia, I would still recommend look at SQ. Like I would still say, but I know Amex is a little more, the ratio is not that great as compared to, let's say, Amex is 2:1, right?
Yes, 2:1.
Yeah, so I think I would still say it would be the best option in my view. Like go for SQ and make the max out of it. like my favorite and Ameya's favorite is Cathay, right? So we have spoken about it in one of the episodes as well, that if you had 50,000 Amex points, what I would do. If you had 1 lakh Amex points, what you would do, right? So for example, at 25,000 Amex points gets you one-way economy on Cathay, right? And hence you can multiply it and use it. So I would say Cathay is another great option.
So I think my take here is like, what are you really looking to do, Manbir? Like, are you looking to, let's say, do a solo trip? Are you looking to do, let's say, a couple trip? Are you looking to do, let's say, a family of 4? That's the question. And based on that, I think your answer lies. Like, for example, if you want to do a vacation for a family of 4, then Hong Kong via Cathay is great because availability is there for up to 8 people. Similarly, SQ Pay, economy and business, you can often find availability for up to 4 people, right? So Singapore is a great option for economy and business, while Hong Kong is a great option via Cathay for people up to 4. And then we've discussed this in our Hong Kong episode. You can, for couple, you can potentially do Qatar also to Hong Kong. So I think like that's a great one. Vietnam and I would say Tokyo as well. Like, for example, Tokyo is like a fantastic option, but JAL is not available on Amex. You'll have to potentially go the Singapore Airlines way. So I think those are like my thoughts.
Manbir's follow-up is amazing. Follow-up message. He says, thanks, Dhimant, my wife is Thai and my sasural is Bangkok. Like,
man, search for good cards in Thailand and get them. You might be able to get some good sweet spots. And हमें भी बताना.
This reminded me of my Thai Airways excursion to Cathay Pacific. I spoke about it in one of the episodes, right? Where they lost my baggage. Thai Airways. They got me on the flight, but they left my luggage on the flight. So awesome.
All right. So we'll close that out with Manbir. And here's another very, very cool question from MS. MS's question. Ameya, will go with you first. Can you rank from bottom to top? Axis Magnus or Burgundy, HSBC Premier, HDFC Premier, and ICICI EPM. I'm very curious to know both you, how you and Dhimant think about this. This is a fantastic question. So let's go for it.
Okay. I think with the voucher changes, I'm actually going to put ICICI EPM at the bottom. I will put HSBC Premier just above it. It's a beautiful card, but no multipliers. Above that, I will put Infinia. And on top, I will put M4P.
Yeah.
Mine would be that ranking?
Yeah, mine would be very different. Mine would be HSBC would be the last, largely because of unavailability to earn at a multiplying rate. Hence, my earning is limited to 3%, which I don't like. So HSBC Premier would be the last. ICICI EPM would be on top of it because I am very, very hopeful that Miles Partner will come. Plus, if it doesn't, I still have earned at 18%, which helps me fly domestic very easily, right? So ICICI EPM right now is a much better card for me than HSBC Premier. Second would be Axis M4B, not Infinia, because while the card is awesome, I don't like the constant pressure of, spending 1.5 lakh first, and then, it's good for big purchases, but still not like my daily card, right? So HDFC Infinia for me is like the topmost card right now, and it has continued to be very consistent, right? So I love the Infinia. I would rank it that way. And plus, Axis, agar kal AEP devalue kar deta hai, everybody's ranking is going to change. Like, hence, my point of view is that HDFC has a more better chance of sustaining its offerings.
I think this is the fun part about points and miles, right? Everybody's perspective and opinion is so different because our need and usage patterns are so different. Like, for example,
Aadil, what do you do? What do you consider? Yeah.
HSBC for me is at the bottom simply because of the same reason that Dhimant did. Multiplier nahi hai, aur hum to multiplier wale hi log hain. So I think that goes rock bottom. Number 3, in my opinion, is the ICICI Emirates Private Metal, only because as of now it has only Air India. It doesn't have any other partner. And instead of using points for cash, I prefer using them for miles. Number 2 for me is HDFC Infinia, simply because I love Gifter. And it's unbelievably reliable as a platform and consistent. ठीक है, Amazon पे 3% extra ले लेता है, which is okay. Big Basket is limited at $1,500, it's okay. But then now you have, with Zepto, Blinkit, Swiggy, Zomato, There are so many of these options available that allow you to earn 5x. Mintra 10x is an amazing opportunity when they keep bringing it back every now and then. So because, and then, when we go shopping also, so many brands are available on Gifter, so that becomes number 2. But Magnus for Burgundy, that card, Dil Se, like number 1. Simply because of the ability to earn 14%. It's unbelievable how awesome it feels when you've had that month, which we call, the 3-letter word that most people love to say. It's not I love you, ILU. It is AEP, Accelerated Edge Reward Points. And when you hit that month and you get that sweet 14%.
Adil, I was extremely tempted to put Axis M4B at the top, right? So the only reason I don't do it, I feel now, वो बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में कि बहुत आए, बहुत गए, लेकिन one person is right up there. So that consistency of being offering is also very critical, yeah. Because see, for example, your Edge Rewards platform, it just got devalued, and from 100 it just went to 0. Who uses the gift Edge platform anymore, right? So that's my worry, that the moment it takes only 5 minutes to kill that card, the way they killed Reserve, for example, right? Reserve is also completely killed, right? So that's the worry that I have.
Very valid, Dhimant. But I'm just saying, from a contextual perspective, for now and for what's working for me right now, this is, God forbid, no devaluations. This is number 1. But if any devaluations happen, then everything is subject to change, right? And we have the ability to switch cards. So that's my thought process there.
I'll also call out one thing here, which is very important. It depends on what other cards you have. Like, I think, especially in my case, like, say, for example, I hold each of these, all 4 I'm having. And the only times I've used my ICICI EPM has been to do the buy one, get one free movie tickets. Because, now that they've announced the extra charges on the vouchers, I use Infinia only for vouchers. I don't use ICICI EPM for vouchers. For flights, I largely use M4B. For hotels, Infinia and EPM are sort of similar, 33%, 36%, but Infinia lets you transfer to miles. And HSBC Premier, while it can't get you the multipliers, it still has its sweet spots with respect to restricted spends. It also, for that matter, gets you the nice buy one, get one at 750 rupees tickets also. So I literally have, for whatever, after they killed the vouchers, I have no use for the EPM right now.
Yeah, I think very, very well put, Ameya. There's a very fun question from Siddharth Sharma. Is there a pathway to shift Air India Maharaja points to ANA? Oh man, Siddharth, if that happened, man, I would stop all my cards and I would spend only on ICICI EPM, because that gives me crazy access to AI points. But no, there are no pathways in India to move points directly to ANA. The only pathway that is available to us is Marriott to ANA. And Ameya, you were planning to do some funky stuff with ANA, right? Any progress there?
Yeah, I'm just finalizing this thing. We've got like 15 days, I think a little more than that. Sometime in June, they are discontinuing the Around the World program. So just getting a ticket sorted out there.
So Ameya's planning a very cool round the world trip on ANA just before the program ends. Let's wish Ameya all the best. As soon as he has that itinerary booked, we're going to do an Ameya special where we're going to roll out how do you book a round the world itinerary on ANA. So let's stay tuned to that. With that, let's come to a couple more questions. So Darna Ramu says they've got the Amex Plaid Travel, IDFC Millennia, and Amazon Pay. Their monthly net is 70K. Would love a card recommendation optimized for travel. Any thoughts there, guys?
Optimized for travel, I didn't understand. Like, is it like travel spends? If yes, then probably just get the Atlas. No? I'm not
Atlas
clear.
अगर नहीं मिल रहा है तो?
हाँ, okay. Atlas अगर नहीं मिल रहा है, HSBC travel one would be the next best if there is optimized for travel.
Yeah. I think I was going to recommend that as well. Ameya, any recommendation from you?
No, nothing else. I think Amazon Pay, if you can use it to buy flights. If you already have Amex, you could use pay vouchers and then book flights. It's an outside the box suggestion, but yeah.
Got it. Let's take another question from Tankala, who says, hey, I have a US remote job in India as a freelancer. So in general, it's very hard to get some good cards like Atlas. I travel a lot, which is 4 times a quarter, which is significant travel, which means 16 trips a year. Only have IDFC Mayura and RBL World. Any suggestions?
No, I didn't understand again. Like, it's hard to get because of not staying in India. Like, I didn't understand
No,
this.
it's hard to get because he has a US remote job in India and he works as a freelancer, which means he does not have a salary account or he's not getting salary. So we can consider him an entrepreneur, but the problem is he might not have a company. So he's a solo individual who's a freelancer who's earning income from the US. So in this case, how can he figure out which cards to get and what cards can he get and like what's the path to getting like a good card?
Got it. Not sure, man. Like, very, very corner case. I'm not really sure about what card to get.
I think I have a recommendation here. I think, Tankala, you have a very unique opportunity. The fact that you have a US remote job, right? My guess is you are going to be getting income in foreign exchange. If you're getting income in foreign exchange, try and get a relationship with either HDFC, ICICI, or Axis. And then when you get that relationship, depending on your income stream, try and optimize for either Atlas or Magnus Burgundy in Axis. Try and optimize for Regalia Gold, Diners Club Back, or Infinia in HDFC, or try and solve for a Times Black or an ICICI EPM with ICICI. Banks love it when they get foreign income, and use this to your advantage to open a banking relationship, and through that relationship getting a card. So be smart when you kind of interact with your with the branch folks, is what I would say, and your banking relationship and your salary, not your salary, but your income as a freelancer can be potentially used to your advantage. Ameya, any thoughts there?
No, I mean, no expertise over here, unfortunately. I don't think anything concrete that I can add.
Okay. Let's come to another one by Anag. He says he's got 3.5 lakh MR points. He wants to do a family vacation for 3. Location doesn't matter, domestic or international. Thinking Marriott Maldives. What is the best value he can get? I'm very tempted to say go do Maldives because it's amazing. Something between 150k to 200 points can get you either Sheraton Maldives or it can get you the Lee Meridian Maldives. Sheraton pe jaoge to kids eat free. So, your food for the kid will be taken care of. Both properties are very upgrade friendly properties. So even if you have like a silver status, you might get upgraded. If you don't have a silver status, get the 3,500 rupee HDFC Marriott Bonvoy card. That will come with complimentary silver status. It will give you 15,000 points also. So take that and potentially do it. The other one is something that we dropped in our recent episode with Prakhar. Look at Al Paha in Dubai. That's like a fantastic property. Otherwise, if you have 3.5 lakh MR points, consider doing Hong Kong. Look at our recent episode that we released on Hong Kong. It should cover your flights, it should cover your hotels, it should cover everything, and you'll have some points left also. So I think like that could be another one. So those are my thoughts. Any other perspectives, Dhimant, Ameya?
Yeah, I mean, me and Aadil are at slightly different points here, right? So I wouldn't do Maldives because of the simple reason that I don't see particular value, right? But Maldives is a great option. Like, especially Aadil has been speaking great things about it. If I had these points, I would look at Almaha for sure, especially because of the being in the desert part of that entire experience. That's one option I have. The Ritz Hong Kong is something I'm very excited to look at, because again, if I understand correctly, that also comes at similar points requirements, right? So I want to consider Ritz Hong Kong. It's the tallest hotel in Hong Kong and starts at 103rd floor. Crazy. Plus, you can also, like Aadil said, you can also book Cathay Pacific business with your points. So if you can get the Ritz Carlton for 2-3 nights and let's say the tickets via MR points, that would be an awesome option in my view.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pick out destinations. One thing I will definitely optimize for is do the 4+1 nights on Marriott.
Yeah, sure.
You essentially spend 4 nights, you get the 5th night free. Beyond that, pick location and depending on whatever it works out.
Yeah, no, also, by the way, in case you aren't aware, you can still buy a little more MR points from your Amex account. So also do consider that if you're falling short of MR points, right? So You can buy 10,000 points from Amex account as well if you're falling short.
All right, let's take another one. And this one is coming from Eknath. And Eknath's question is, I have the Times Black card in ICICI, and my RM is asking to upgrade to the Emerald Visa or Master. Is it worthy enough? In my opinion, if it's the Emerald, don't. If it's the Emerald Private, take it. Because I feel like in the stack of cards of ICICI, the Emerald Private is the number one, Times Black is number two, and then I would say is the Emerald. So depending on what features you value and depending what makes sense, take the call. But Dhimant, Ameya, any thoughts on this? Should he upgrade the Times Black to the Emerald?
If it is Emerald Private, yes. Normal Emerald, no. No.
Correct. Yeah.
If you're able to get the Emerald Emirates, maybe it might make sense, but none of the other Emerald variants.
All right. Another question from Navneet. Navneet says, what's the best frequent flyer program to use for flights from Bangalore to Europe? His travel currency is Amex and HDFC.
I think best is Virgin. You can get direct, say, Bangalore. I've personally booked it. Bangalore to Amsterdam, 15,000 points plus 100 pounds. So like net 25k. I think for economy, it's the best deal. We've actually talked a lot about it in our Italy episode. For instance, for going business, I think the cheapest way to do it is going to be JAL. JAL gives you great value. What all programs did you mention? Amex and HDFC. Yeah, so HDFC you can put to JAL, and business is JAL, economy is Virgin, and do take a look at our Italy episode. There's a lot of details on this.
So you will hear about Lufthansa, you will hear about Flying Blue in that episode, you will hear about the mistakes that I made on Flying Blue. A lot of those learnings are there in the episode, Navneet. If you can just look at that episode, you will get the like starter course for Bangalore to Europe. Also, I think it's good that you're flexible because you're saying Europe. Europe, it's all about that. You can go to Paris, you can land in anywhere and figure it out.
Right, let's come to this one from Piyush. Piyush is like, I have the HDFC Millennia, I have Axis Atlas and the Amex Plat. Any point in chasing EPM or better HDFC cards? Dhimant, your opinion?
Like I spoke about it in the last cards episode that we did, right? If you're getting the chase by following up, putting your salary account, yes. Any insurance policy, any investment, any FD, just let it go. Don't chase it. In fact, I would say HDFC Millennia है तो Regalia Gold के लिए chase करो, easily मिल जाएगा. Start earning points and then look at HDFC का better cards later. Just go for the Regalia Gold, you will get it relatively easier.
Makes sense. There's another one from Siddharth Sharma. He says, do you guys offer consultancy on how to best accrue and make points for travel? Count me in if you do. I can DM the team. So yeah, Siddharth, our preferred approach is we try to make these videos and so that you can watch videos and learn. And that approach is because all three of us, me, Dhimant and Ameya, have full-time jobs, and it's hard to kind of do a lot of consulting. And Monday to Fridays are packed for us. And what we do is Friday evenings or Saturday and Sunday, we try and record our episodes, which is the podcast. So the lack of time is like a problem and a challenge, but we do offer it for specific people. So if you're interested in getting consulting service, DM us on Twitter and one of us will respond and we can take it up from there. So we do offer it, but then we're not like aggressively promoting it or something on those lines. With that, let's come to a couple more questions. So let's come into this one where, okay, this is an interesting one from Deep. So Deep says, he got an offer for Marriott Vacation Club for 3 locations, Dubai, Bali, and Phuket, but it has to be booked from them. Does this booking reflect on Marriott Bonma app? Are they a good option on revenue? So I'll tell you what, right, Deep, in this case, I've actually used Marriott Vacation Club. One of my friends last year was getting married in Bali. So, we went there and we stayed at his hotel for his wedding. But then I also wanted to do 3 more days of stay. For I think if my memory serves me right, for 21,000 points, we got a Marriott property. I think it was perhaps the Renaissance in Bali for 3 nights in a 1-bedroom suite, along with breakfast included. for 21,000 INR, including taxes. So it's like 7,000 rupees a night, which I thought was worth it. It was a good property, good location. They offered shuttle services. They had very good food, a fantastic pool. The only thing is it's not on a beach. That's the look. So, but they do have multiple properties and multiple options. So consider it. I would say if you have points available, then use them. But in my case, the points requirement was way too high. So I didn't mind paying 21,000 rupees and booking it. And when you book it, it does reflect on your Marriott Bonvoy app. Just mention your number there, your Marriott Bonvoy ID number. The only thing is this will not get you points on that stay. But it does show up on your Marriott Bonvoy app. Ameya, Dhimant, any thoughts there?
No, I think I haven't used the Marriott Vacation Club, so I'll go with whatever you said.
Cool. With that, let's come to another question that we have here, which is from Traveler Gen X. Says, I recently came across a program called GHA Discovery via the Visa Infinite offer. Are we considering for another episode? We haven't really thought about it, but thanks for the input. We'll put it on our Trello board, Traveler Gen X, and we'll circle back. Do you think it's worth discussing at this point? I think we discussed it between the three of us, right? Dhimant and Ameya. Dhimant, you want to talk a little bit about it?
I have used the GHA Discovery. I'm a Titanium member. I've kind of upgraded it. The last time the offer ran, it also ran before as well. So you get a Titanium status to it. And I used it when I went to Leela, right? So Leela is part of the GHA Discovery group, right? There are two things. One is that you get good upgrades. I mean, I was upgraded to the highest suite possible, the second highest suite actually. And the second is that you also get a currency that you earn, which can also be used for future bookings, right? The only issue I have is in India, I don't see a lot of hotels which are in my preferred list for the GHA Discovery, but I used it for Leela and it was a pretty decent experience. I mean, you should go ahead and take that status, if it's being offered to you, right? So,
right, let's come to another one.
Wait, just 1 minute. I think just on point. There was a double dip offer on GHA Discovery. I believe it was until September. You're earning double points back. Let me find a link and I'll add it to the chat. Aadil, continue, please.
Awesome.
All right, fantastic. Let's come to another one, which is by Rushi. Rushi's asking, thanks for your suggestion. He's got the Infinity with lifetime free. Dhimant, is there any chance to get Regalia as lifetime free and also Atlas as last time free? And which can I consider of Amex as per my previous question of below 50K spends in a month?
Yeah, so I'll answer the three questions quickly. Regalia LTF, yes, there's a good chance of getting it. Talk to the bank. You should be able to get it. It is routinely offered as LTF to many people, right? So that's one. Atlas, they don't offer it as LTF anymore. At one point, they were offering it as LTF for salary accounts. Also, remember, if you get the Atlas LTF, you don't get some of the joining benefits, and hence it's not recommended to take the Atlas as LTF, right? So that's the second. On Amex, once the Amex applications open, consider trying for the Amex MRCC. If you can get it. If you don't get the MRCC, then you can get the blue color card. Which one is that, Ameya? The blue card? The one
I remember. Yeah, it's I'm not able to Smart Earn, I think.
A Smart Earn, yeah. So consider both this MRCC and Smart Earn.
All right, let's come to our final question before we close. This is by VJ Spired, who says, can someone unlock how we can maximize gold charge on their reward multiplier?
Aadil, you are the right person to answer.
I don't have the gold charge, yeah. So
oh, you don't have the gold charge. Oh, yeah, sorry. Ameya is the gold charge expert, yeah. Correct.
Yeah, gold charge. I mean, the gifter is the way to go. Basically, what you do is 6 transactions, 1,000 rupees each. You get 5x points, so you get a total of 1,600 points for 6,000 rupees spent. Best value for money.
No,
it's very straightforward.
I think he's asking which
reward
vouchers
multiplier.
to buy. I think which vouchers to buy.
I buy Amazon Pay only, I think. So if that's the question. But if not for Amazon Pay, I think there's a variety of vouchers available.
I end up taking the Swiggy vouchers because of simple reason that Amazon Pay is a big pain to get the right denominations. So I end up getting the Swiggy ones. Yeah, matlab, like to each its own.
Yeah, makes sense. So with that, I think big thanks to everyone. We are 1,200 people joining live on a live stream today, which is crazy on a Friday evening that we did impromptu. So again, big thanks to all of you. I think we set a new record today for joining in, and you all stayed with us for more than 2 hours and 4 minutes. So again, very grateful. We started by talking about a deep dive into the recently launched Equitas PowerMiles credit card. It's very exciting and cool to see new entrants shaking up the travel credit card space. As always, evaluate your spending habits and travel goals to determine if this card aligns with your lifestyle and accordingly action. Big thanks to Dhimant and Ameya for coming in and for helping answer all our questions. Like always, very grateful. And with that, it's time to wrap this up. So big thanks everyone for tuning in. Please leave other comments on YouTube or on Twitter. If we haven't answered, we'll try and answer them. And keep tuning into our YouTube channel. Like Dhimant requested, please hit the bell icon. Please subscribe. And we look forward to bringing you even more content. And with that, we'll wrap up. Final words, Dhimant and Ameya.
I mean, take the dive for the new cards only if you need it, folks. I think I spoke about it in one of the episodes, right? FOMO mein mat jao. Like, just look at whether it matches your buying, sell, the spending pattern. So Equitas is one great example. I'm actually most excited, Aadil, about the fact that smaller banks are entering. The more the merrier. Let more people get mile partners. A lot of options will open up, and you can have a lot more discussions around which to put where, what to put where. So yeah, excited.
Ameya?
No, I think similar itself. Like, yeah, I think let's wait for the terms to get clearer. And yeah, I mean, looking forward to it. It can be a very asymmetric fuel card for sure, a forex card for sure. Yeah.
All right, with that, this is Dhimant, Ameya, and Aadil wrapping up on the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Until next time, keep earning and keep burning those points wisely. Shab bakhair.
Bye.
Flashing bright, we're on the go. Tune in now, there's so much to know. Earning bits, travel dreams we sow. All aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. 0 to hero in the blink of an eye. Fly first class, no need to be shy. Redemption sweet, touching the sky. Award seats booked, let's give it a try. Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo. Hidden treasures in every flight. Nights in places that feel so right. From deserts to the city lights. Get set, steal those dazzling sights. Miles stack up each passing day. Rewards come back in a million ways. In this game you want to play the Great Yay! Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo.